Welcome to the Grow Renaissance podcast. Let's nourish the world.
All right, welcome back to Pasture Primetime with me, your host, Neil. Today, I'm very privileged to have with me, joining us all the way from Alberta, Canada, Kai Olsen. He's a fourth-generation farmer. He's got some background knowledge with Rodeo, and he is excited to have a conversation with me today. Kai, thanks for being here, and thanks for making some time. I know
Oh,
it's early for you this morning.
what happened there? Oh, there you are.
Ah, you probably bounced off their technology. But
Yeah,
you're
right. The rural technology ain't as good as in town, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe you could tell our audience a little bit. You're fourth generation farmer. What kind of operation do you run in Alberta or your family?
So, for most of my life, we've kind of we just have about 1,000 acres of cropland. We typically we put lots of canola in, barley. In recent years, we started doing yellow peas actually.
Yeah.
And then we do a pile of swath grazing. Currently, like we're running just 120 cow-calf pairs, and we put them on swath grazing, and then we calve them out, and so on and so forth. It's just for the most part just Dad and I, so that's taking a lot of work, and then plus I run a mechanic business as well,
Right on.
so it's kind of a full plate of stuff, but I know like growing up. I always wanted to be in the cattle industry. Like that was my biggest thing.
Hmm.
Um, it was like I was very thankful and blessed to be doing this kind of stuff. Growing up, we actually ran a 3,000 head feedlot here at home.
Okay.
And then like everything was going good. Like got to learn lots of stuff growing up. So I was born in '96, and then we had the feedlot. It was in full swing, and then unfortunately, when BSE hit in '03,
Yeah.
it kind of hit the fan,
Yeah.
right? So unfortunately, we took some pretty massive hits, and so now we've kind of, and like unfortunately, we had to sell off some land, and
Yeah.
now we're just down to just a nice family farm, small operation, just to keep food on the table. And it's I'm thankful, even though stuff could have went a lot uglier. I'm glad that we still get to be a part of this community. So
That's great. That's great. Yeah. It's the changes of agriculture, right? Through the seasonality, but, you start adapting. I think farmers are really good at being dynamic and just sort of adapting to what comes. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your market space for your cattle. How are you finding, with some of the imposed constraints that are happening in the market space with your cow calf operation, how that is playing out for you? Is there a positive, a negative? Is it stayed neutral? What?
um I mean for uh like so in the past, so I took a little bit of time away from the farm to get my mechanics ticket and stuff. So I remember like 5 years ago was when I finally, like, I took out a loan and bought, a decent group of heifers for myself. And I remember back like 5 years ago, if I got $1,200 for a 600-pound calf, I was thrilled,
Right.
right? And now, like, you look at it, and like right now, the market right now, like five weights up at Olds are about that $3,500. Like they took a little bit of hit in the last week. Um, but it's wicked money, obviously. But the thing is, um, what I'm really struggling with is like the price of grass, for instance. Like
Right.
it's um for me, like I only, out of the 150 head that we have, like I only have 35 of my own.
Okay.
Um, but like lots of these guys, especially bigger operations, like they're paying up to $2.50, $2.50 a day per large animal in some of these places, and they have to take care of the fence. And for kind of the smaller scale guy, like you
Yeah.
can't really make that work, right? And especially if you know um like I going to be excited to get my calf check next week? Absolutely, but at the same time it makes me worry when the balloon's going to burst, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's interesting. The cattle market right now is just in this massive uh, polar vortex. I'm going to call it. Not that we want to talk about cold weather too soon, but um, as you say, I think we need to be thinking about when the other shoe is going to drop and how that's going to pan out. Um, and there's certainly a lot more constraints on anyone raising livestock right now, and whether that's feed or whether
Oh,
that's
for sure.
custom grazing, land leasing capabilities, and even just trailing them to different locations. There's a huge constraint. Do you take advantage of any of the ecological crediting systems that are out there on top of some of the subsidies that are available? But are you part of a carbon program or methane avoidance, or do you get involved in any
Actually,
application?
I know for us, because I kind of let mom and dad kind of hold the reins a little bit when it comes to that kind of stuff. We kind of try and stay, and this is, you know, kind of a wild thing, I guess, but we try and kind of stay away from the government as much as we can, right? Because, the scary part is, um, once you kind of invite that kind of stuff onto your place, especially like a smaller deal like ours,
Hmm.
it opens as much as, is there opportunity with that? Absolutely. But the problem is that also opens the doors for further, oh, well, why are you doing this? Or adds extra pressure on what I feel is already a pretty high pressure situation, right? Like even price to vaccinate animals and stuff like that on top of the grass and the feed and like stock trailers. Like I know just about I guess an hour and a half south of here at Desert Sales in Bazano, they sell Wilson stock trailers.
Yep.
I know we in '06 we bought our 24-foot aluminum for 18,000, I want to say.
Okay.
So I guess 20 years ago. And we have a 2015 of the exact same trailer, and I think we paid, 25 maybe. And now, if I was to walk into that place and want the exact same trailer, it's like 55,000.
I know.
Like,
Yeah. Appreciation is or inflation is just out of control. Some of that steel, right? And supply and demand, but it's pushing it out of reach for operations like yours in terms of getting
oh,
involved. And the secondary market, I think, is the place to go and find some of your equipment that you need, because it's the only way to sort of make ends meet or pencil it out to make it work on the books.
oh, absolutely. And I mean, I I'd be lying if I said my dad didn't take advantage of me being a mechanic as well. Like
Yeah, yeah.
there's um like I was very fortunate where I learned all my mechanic knowledge was a smaller kind of mom and pop farm shop in Crossfield, Alberta here.
Right.
And we literally worked on pretty much anything from your tandem grain truck to your Honda Civic to your four-wheel drive tractor. It was kind of you know, if it's got tires on it, we'll fix it kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
So dad definitely likes to take advantage of that, especially when it comes to like maintaining our trailers and stuff like that. And I mean, the biggest thing is like there's so many guys, like we live in such a throwaway type of world nowadays. And like obviously lots of people they bring me stuff, and that's they can barely afford a used stock trailer, and it is tired when they buy it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's it's a tough deal. Like I know, like obviously, we worry all the time, but I mean, there's we're very lucky to be as well off as we are, and we're not as well off as a lot of other people, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm gonna change tracks here a little bit, Kai. I'd love for you to tell the audience a little bit about your rodeo. I don't often talk to people on this podcast that have rodeo background, but you're a bit of a team roper, and maybe you can explain some of that and what that means to our audience that's unfamiliar.
Y- Yeah, absolutely. So uh growing up, when I was little, like like a toddler, my dad actually pro rodeoed. So he went down the trail team roping and spent a lot of time, and that was a huge part of his life. And then of course when I came along, he kind of backed off on it and decided, being a family person was kind of more the priority, right? Keeping food on the table. And then, plus, it wasn't very long, my little sister came along. So,
Yeah.
um, I kind of like I rode horses quite a bit when I was younger, like kind of coming up to age 10. And then I get very involved with sports actually. So I took a break from the horses until I turned about, I want to say 17.
Hmm.
And then I decided, like dad, he always talked about roping stories and, going down the road and whatever. And it really made me like, I don't know, I really look up to my dad. Like he's a huge part of my life. Like I spend every day with him, obviously, right? So,
Yeah.
um, so I kind of it was funny. He didn't believe me that I actually was serious about going to rope. So, I pulled up what little money I had, what I saved from a couple calves that I sold, and I went and bought my first horse to go rope on for like I think $3,200, and it was not a good buy. Like I
Yeah.
had no idea what I was doing, and I just took the I didn't even tell him I was going to do it. I just took the trailer and went, and I started tracking the dummy around and kind of learning how to rope and. He actually started seeing that I was serious, and he kind of took me under his wing and helped me get the roping portion down for sure. Um, and then honestly, I've been addicted to it ever since. Since then I've went and I've roped in the Central Alberta Rodeo Association,
Yeah.
the Foothills Cowboys Association, the Canadian Cowboys Association, and just I've had a lot of fun, to be honest. Like
Yep.
going around, experience, meeting all kinds of different people. Like I love chatting with people and seeing like what they think. Like I'm always like I know when it comes, especially to horses, people are really opinionated,
Yeah.
obviously,
What do you like?
and so I'm I just bought a really cool done 4-year-old heel horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and he's come along pretty wicked. I'm going to buy my pro permit here next spring. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of a buddy and we've been kind of so focused on work and whatnot that it's been kind of tough. And now that I'll be 30 in May. And now it's funny what happens when you have adult money and you go, well, maybe I can't afford to go, right? So I've been very lucky. I've been able to rope all the way from north of Edmonton all the way down to Arizona. So
Amazing. Amazing.
yeah,
And you're a healer,
yeah,
and just for the audience, team roping is two guys and they try to rope a steer, and so one's a header and one's a healer, correct?
absolutely, yep,
Yeah, and it's time driven. So, I mean, I follow Bonnet and Colin, who are sort of big in the roping team roping in Canada. Do you run
yep,
across them at all?
yeah. Actually, I'll especially the bonnets. I'll run it. They're all from that Panoka area. So
Right.
there's that big building, the Calnash up there, and I go and rope at the Team Rope in Canada ropings, and I run into all those boys all the time. They're
Cool.
actually, you know, um, it's it's funny because the before you kind of get to that level where you're roping with these guys, it's kind of like the oh, like that's you're scared to go talk to people or whatever. And honestly, um, especially the Bonnets and Levi Simpson and Jerry Bueller and his brother Clint, like all these guys that are, high level ropers, they are the nicest people you will meet.
Yeah.
Like, and they're always, and if you're struggling, they're always willing to come help. Like, I'm very, um, like me, just like horses roping, everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah.
I really try and like, for instance, I'm putting on a charity roping clinic next month,
Oh, right on.
to kind of help people kind of get out of their shell and bring up the conversation that it is okay to like talk to these guys and have some confidence to go out there and kind of put yourself out there because it's not like it was even 20 years ago where you kind of put yourself out there and you might get bit. Nowadays everyone is so nice and wanting to help each other, and you know even though we're competing against each other, we're like a big family for sure.
Yeah. And what type of rope do you use?
Normally I use so when I'm heading, I like a soft power line, classic rope,
Yeah.
or extra soft Rattler GT4
Mm-hmm.
for heading, and then healing. Typically almost 99% of the time I'm using a medium power line. It's
Gotcha.
just like there's definitely a reason why it's one of the most popular ropes out there for sure.
Totally. Not too long ago, I was given a Riata, um, and that thing just burns my hand every time I use it.
No, no kidding. Well, I know, like, me, it was funny. Like, before I kind of started figuring out stuff, um, I always like had ranch ropes with me and stuff like that. Like, especially riding through cows, and oh, I want to be a cowboy kind of deal. Well, then next thing you know, fingers get a little warm, and you kind of you kind of get yourself into a bind every once in a while. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sneaks up on you. I know, like I consistently, except during harvest time, like that's tough. Like this,
Yeah.
we just finished yesterday actually. So
Oh, good. How
um,
how did it come off? How are your fields looking?
actually, we were a little bit worried about our canola. It kind of looked like it didn't look very good. Like
Yeah.
it kind of we had some problems with the cedar where like some of it was a little bit deeper than others, and
Yeah.
actually it ended up running. We had about 200 acres of it, and it was roughly about 45 bushel an acre.
No, it's not bad. Yeah. Pretty good.
So,
Pretty
so
good.
yeah.
And do you bin that? Are you pre-contracted on that, or how do
So,
you?
typically what we like to do, because in this area, we're in, I guess you could call it the hail belt right
Mm-hmm.
here, right? So, um, out of the last 20 years, we've been hailed out probably 16 of them, maybe 15 of them. Like it's pretty rank. Like we pay the highest premium you can for crop insurance. So lots of our neighbors like to contract out, but typically we'll either sell it right off the combine kind of deal and just phone, and like I can't remember what canola's at right now. I think it's at 13.78 a bushel or something like that. We just sold just a tandem trailer load, about 1,000 bushel. But
Okay.
for the most part, we bin everything just because, especially being a smaller operation, like if you have it in the bin, you can always sell a load, right, to kind of get by, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting in operations about the size of yours. You know how you pencil that out. You know what's good for the books, what's good for the operation. Price of canola is up and down right now. Are you faced with any of the issues happening with canola? You know, are you thinking of planting it again next year, or maybe looking at a diversity crop, seeing as there's a bit of a shortfall in market demand?
You know, it's tough. Like I kind of, for us, it's our biggest thing. What we try and do is, we look at all this and we kind of worry, but it seems like every year there's something that we're kind of stressed about, or like we're kind of thinking about making a change. And it's funny, we almost every year, like we might switch up the sizes of what we do. Like
Yeah.
we might put in an extra 100 bushel of feed barley instead, right? Um, but pretty consistently, we just keep putting kind of the same stuff in, just rotate, obviously.
Mm.
And because it's funny, like it seems like in today's day and age, like, yeah, it might get, a little bit ugly for a couple months, but it seems to bounce back here and there, right? And kind of, we try and kind of take our opportunities when we can rather than, our like our biggest worry is, the second that you don't put something in or put a little bit of say canola in, well then next thing you know it'll be back up to 20 bushel or $20 English,
Yeah,
$20 a bushel, and then we won't have any, right? And you start doing that. Ooh, I wish I would have done that.
totally. Totally. Yeah, it's a fluctuating market for sure. And where we come from at Grow, if we can help farmers or producers decentralize a little bit and find, new market spaces access, there's new opportunities. Um, I'd love to hear. So, cow calf pair. What kind of breeds do you run? And this is a lot for our audience here that maybe isn't as familiar with
Yeah.
the side of life.
Oh, oh, for sure. So, I guess I'll explain it a little bit. Growing up, it was a lot of red and black Angus, and like straight reds, straight blacks.
Yeah.
As we've kind of, and that was kind of more my mom and dad's side. My grandparents, they always kind of had a mix of like a Charolais mixed commercial herd.
Yeah.
And like now, because we kind of stay away from the purebred deal just because it could be so like, is there reward in the purebred deal? Absolutely. But the problem is, like, for dad and I to manage that, it's pretty tough all on our own. Like, my dad's 66 and he's like, he's getting older, he's slowing down. It's kind of tough to really manage that, right? So,
Right.
I've currently in my herd is a lot of kind of Simmental cross cows,
Okay.
kind of the red baldies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good. Do you find that there's any change in some of the feed that you're feeding them now from what you used to do, in terms of quality or what the market is looking for?
What we've been doing, so typically we just growing up we always did like an oat barley silage mix, right? And what we've started to do is we actually put in the oat and barley, but we actually mix peas in as well
Yeah.
for our green feed. And instead of putting it through the chopper, we actually leave it in swath grazing. And I seem, and that's, well, for a couple different reasons. Like, um, because, we're so short-handed. And I mean, to hire anybody for help nowadays is pretty expensive, which I don't blame people. Like, it's expensive to live, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little more manageable that way. But it seems like they seem to be doing pretty good. Like they get a lot of grain content. We don't typically supplement with any kind of pellets or extra kind of feed barley. Like they
Great.
seem to get quite a bit out of that grain feed, especially, I mean, as long as you cut it early enough, so it's that nice and fresh and always like, like we disc bind
Yeah.
1 year, and it's surprising how much that dries out. So then the cattle kind of real fussy, right?
Yeah. The disposition changes for sure when it's dried out. Um, does hide color make any difference to you on the sale of your cow calf operation? Are you examining just pure weight? What maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
S yeah, so lots of the time it's very interesting. I try and kind of keep a close watch on that. Um, because I know for years, like those kind of gray kind of cattle,
Yeah.
they were oh, they were discounted something fierce. Like nobody wanted them, nobody wanted them. And then all of a sudden everybody wanted them for a couple years there, and they're bringing good money, and they're bringing just as much as the blacks and straight reds.
Yeah.
Um, but actually, what I've been noticing is around here for the last couple years is tam calves are doing really good. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like for me, I mean, if I have a 500-pound tan steer versus even just a straight red, I might average an extra, oh, $150 a head even sometimes.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
So, and I think it's a big part of that too, like this crossbreeding deal. I've been really kind of playing with it with like my small herd, right?
Yeah.
Um, like I know the years that I put a Charolais bull in with the red cows, um, those cow, especially like a smaller red Angus cow. Like I don't like big birth weights personally. Um, like I mean, being out there 3 a.m. in a blizzard pulling a calf isn't exactly the
Yeah.
funniest thing to
No,
do,
no.
right? So but I find they actually tend to drop on the ground real easy and then actually gain really nicely and finish really nicely. And I think you see lots of these feedlot guys and the packers and stuff, like they're really recognizing that, and it's really kind of impacted around here for sure.
Yeah. What's the average weight you're looking for? About 1,200 on your cows, your 10 cows?
Yeah, like the cow, that kind of steady weight, I kind of like my our kind of group is that 12 to 1,300, and then we're weaning the calves at about 6 to 650 typically.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a fascinating world. How much does technology play a part in some of the things you do? You're a fairly hands-on operation? It sounds, just you and your father. But do you use technology to your advantage in identification of feed rations or any of the cattle management software systems that are out there?
So I'm just finally kind of just started kind of dipping my toe into that pond.
Amazing.
Um, because like for years, like I've only very recently kind of really took a bigger role, and especially the cattle side of our operation.
Yeah.
Um, it's I've got lots of friends that they have like they've got scales at the water trough, and they've got digital identifier tag type deals. So then when they walk up to the water trough, they can tell like weight the gain per day, and like it's pretty cool stuff. And I'd love to kind of, well, at least attempt to try something like that, because it's what a smart idea and what a cool idea. But again, everything costs money,
Yeah.
right? So um to do all that, like I'm hoping I'm well working to try and kind of put more money into our operation and try and get some of those, maybe I guess to some people, luxuries, and really kind of so you can actually look and see what what your feed program's doing, right? Where there's a lot of these guys that they're just kind of just letting it rip, and oh yeah, the calf looks big enough, let's just ship it, right?
Yeah.
um it's very, I like being able to see it on a piece of paper and being able to see, okay, well, this is what it costs to feed this calf over the year. This is what we gained per day, um, and so on and so forth, right? And I mean, it's obviously easy for me to sit here and say that, but being able to manage all that, like that's a full gig too, right? So,
Totally. There's some great technology out there, and I know we're just getting to know each other a little bit. And one of the things we do is help ranchers like yourself or mixed operations really safeguard that data. So you own it, data sovereignty, but tapping into some of these platforms. But Ambrook would be a software platform that deals with the books and the numbers where you can really pencil out you profit on an ideal condition for a cow, so you're not under conditioned or over conditioned. Your feed, really understanding those profit margins and where all the dollars are accounted for, and then backed up on the blockchain, so no one owns that data except for you, and you get to monetize that. Um, so definitely things to check out there as you're moving forward. And for our audience, it's one of the reasons why we launched Livestock. It's an ability for anyone to own the digital version of a real cow out in the field and provide upfront funding mechanisms to operations like Kai's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'll be sharing that a little bit with you, Kai, and would love to have some discussions around that. Um,
Absolutely.
Maybe I could just ask you, just from your perspective, it doesn't have to be cattle related, just as an overall, what do you think are some of the biggest things that are working well in agriculture in Alberta for you?
Um, Actually, personally, especially in the last couple years with it being tough, like especially, since COVID, it seems, uh, not that it disappeared, but the sense of community has really jumped tenfold. Like I know, like growing up, like obviously, you had a neighbor that'd come and help you, or maybe you need to move some cattle and they come and help. But it blows my mind. Like we had two different neighbors come help us get the crop off.
Right.
Like they were done a little bit earlier, and it seems that people are just way more open to help than even 10 years ago, right? So
Yeah.
that's a big thing. But I mean, it seems what really worries me, and it's very interesting. Kind of a negative that's been going on is lots of misinformation to like the average Canadian, right? For instance, like one of my mechanic customers, it was funny. I had to meet him at his tandem truck, and he started kind of asking me questions about, oh, what else do I do? And I was explaining to him about my cattle deal, and the first thing he said was, well, if you guys weren't making so money, the steaks wouldn't be so expensive in the store.
Mm.
And it's funny because I kind of explained to him, uh, it's actually nothing to do with us. It's the scary part is the packing outfits. Like when we were getting $1,200 a calf, the steak prices weren't that much cheaper than they are now.
Right.
Like it's kind of it's wild. And I'm actually what relieves me actually quite a bit is a lot of people I've met, even the past, say, 2 years, they're actually asking questions instead of just blindly going, oh, well, you
Good.
know, agriculture's the problem, farming's the problem,
Right.
um, cattle are ruining this or that. Like they want to know what, like, why are there certain groups of people that are saying these things, and they're they're actually taking interest into what's going on, actually, right?
Yeah. That's wonderful to hear. We need more of that, more thoughtful conversations, more questions. We can actually talk from the farm gate level forward and um, dispel some of that misinformation that's out there. Uh,
Oh, for
let
sure.
me let me ask you, what's your favorite cut on a cow?
Oh, always a ribeye. Always got to have a ribeye medium rare.
I
It's
like it.
it's uh it's funny growing up. It was always like I'd have friends that would come over, and they'd grow up in a well done household,
Yep.
and oh yeah, dad, no, you're not ruining that cut of
Yeah.
meat, right? And it's funny, like they'd so then dad would be like, you know what? Just try this. If you don't like it, I will put it back on and we'll solve your problem for you. And it's funny, every single person that had it medium rare, all of a sudden, oh, well, it actually tastes good. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Right?
No, no, no doubt. Have you ever tried Dano's seasoning on a
Actually, mom has some in the pantry,
I love it. Like
and
really crispy, like they're on a ribeye, medium rare. you get some of that crunchy flavor on the top, and that sesame seed and the onions and garlic. Man, it just is. I'm starting to salivate thinking about that.
Yeah, right. Getting hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, awesome, Kai. Well, I've really appreciated this conversation and some of the perspective of your operation here. I'm looking forward to more conversations with you. And
Yeah, absolutely.
just before we go, maybe you could share a little bit about what's going on in your community. You mentioned that event for ropers. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience here about things happening that you're hosting, or things that you think they should be aware of in the Alberta area?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So to start with, I suppose I've actually got a couple things. So to start with, I'll be hosting this roping school. I'm donating my time. It's for beginners building confidence. And all the proceeds are going to an organization that I'm very lucky to be a part of called Porchlight.
Yeah,
It
mental health
is,
environment. Yeah.
yeah, mental health and agriculture, and
Mhm.
it is. Um, I'm friends with all the people that are in it, obviously, and they are an awesome group of people. So I know this Saturday we're having actually our big fundraiser gala. Um, we just finished having ticket sales. It was crazy. Last year, we had it up at Olds, and we're at about I want to say 190-ish people
Oh,
came, and it's like a sit down meal, and you dress up, and we have speakers and stuff. This year we're over 300 people.
wow.
Um, so and it's pretty crazy. Like I
Yeah.
mean, we always have auction items and whatnot, but we have our guest speaker is Leslie from High Heels and Canola Fields.
Yeah.
So, and she's really big into, our deal as well. Like, that's one thing that I'm starting to see a lot of, like, especially people in my age trying to, slowly kind of take over the operation. Like, it's a lot of stress. Like, a lot of us have an outside off the farm job, right? And you notice, like, the stress is really getting to people. So, I
Yeah.
know I'm very proud to be kind of part of that and open and, you know, having the conversation with people. Like, I'm a big, life is what you make it, but that doesn't mean you can't ask for help either.
That's right. That's right.
So, um, we have that. And then also for Porch Late, we'll be next weekend, we'll be at Farm Fair up in Edmonton,
Okay.
running a booth and chatting with everybody and handing out resources where you can get the help you need and, have a visit. I'm always up to visit with anybody and always up to answer questions, whether it's um, to do with cow calf stuff, crop stuff, roping horses, or even just, talking about how I deal with my daily stresses. Like, honestly, it's crazy. Growing up, and obviously, a little bit of different perspective being a kid to being 30, but um I don't remember life being as busy as it is now, right?
Yeah.
And
That's true. Yeah.
it can be a lot for a lot of people, including myself. And I'd love if people would come up and chat with me, and I'd absolutely give them my perspective on anything that they're curious about, or even just have kind of a coffee and a visit type of deal. Like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
an open book that way. So yeah, we'll be there. I want to say from the 4th to the 7th, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. Um, we'll be in that convention center right beside the petting zoo. So I'm sure I'll be able
Oh,
to see lots of people with kids and all the rest of it. Yeah.
that's great, Kai. That's really great. And I second that. I mean, I think mental health awareness in agriculture is very, very important. And I really appreciate, there's folks like you that want to chat about the good, bad, ugly, warts and all. And it's about creating that community. As you mentioned, and I just finished at my farm as well. Um, getting crops in the ground or raising livestock isn't a single effort. It's a community effort, and you support each other.
Oh,
It's what makes agriculture. And we got to share that message louder and broader to consumers and the urban centers. But it's quite special, and I thank you for the work you're doing, especially with Porch there. So appreciate that.
well, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I don't like I it was funny when I first joined it, I kind of thought, "Oh, this is kind of a cool deal." And now it's crazy how many people I even run into. Like I'll be in Calgary for kind of a little bit of an event deal, just either celebrating a friend's birthday, and we'll be at a steakhouse, and somebody will come up to me and actually ask me about Porchlight stuff. It's pretty wicked, and they ask me about all kind of my ag background, and
Nice.
just talk about it, and it blows my. And these are people that it blows my. These are people that live, like, say, in downtown Calgary in an apartment building,
Yeah.
and we're starting to reach people like that. And it's making people interested in agriculture and starting to realize, there was kind of a stigma that, the rich farmer, because we have all this stuff, but they're starting to realize, oh, it's actually, it's kind of tough out here, right? So, and I'm very thankful people are starting to ask the questions instead of just going on the tear and kind of, I don't want to say being hateful, but being very misunderstanding, I guess would be the
Yeah.
word.
Naive to the
Yeah,
world that we live
abs-
in agriculture. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's been so good having you on this podcast here, Kai. For the audience that's listening, as always, if you have questions, please reach out. We'll get you in touch with Kai as he continues to do the amazing work in the field there. And continue to be watching for new episodes of Pasture Primetime, where we talk about all things agriculture. And as we grow this community, grow as a community, no pun intended, agriculture as a community, it really is important to, no matter where you live, if you're in the US and Australia, Canada, we have commonalities that really are interlinked, and grow as a facilitator to really put people together and talk about those opportunities, and then leveraging what grow is building to create new pathways of resilience, new pathways of legacy, and to depressure some of the pain points that we're facing in agriculture. So thank you for listening and tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yes, thank you for having